Hello, this time let's look into reach area, which is a task where you just need to navigate from wherever you are to another position. So I'm thinking we'll create a little task to reach the training ground here. Something that simple. So let's go into the mission folder, which is in my case Nikki Tasks example. Let's go into scripts and Nikki tasks and let's open up run.sqf. And now mine is already down there because I need to figure out what video I'm making next. So there we go, scrolling down a bit, we have reach area. And let's start off as we always do with the task type. Let's do number 3 there because it says so. And then we have the parameters and the classical task name. So let's do Nikki task 3. You can also, if you want to make this more defined or less risky that you'll accidentally use it again, you can like reach, training, ground, doesn't matter. So let's do that this time around. And description: reach the training ground and perform some or do some exercise. And let's call it reach training ground. Sorry, I'm probably stepping a bit too far now because first was the description, what the task means or whatever the description of the task will be, and then you have the task title, which will be reach training ground. Close bracket. And the next parameter is destination, number 3. But the task will be placed on the map, so it can be XYZ or marker, which means, and also, sorry, if you don't want it placed on the map, you can do object null. So you can use like a get pos command if you have an object there, or you can just, let's see here, we can, yeah, I can show you exactly what you can do for this to actually work fairly well. Sorry, I'm just making things more complicated. Let's use a marker just for the sake of it. Marker, let's call it something. Let's call it training ground. And that means we need to enter training ground here. That's the name of the marker that I just placed. And that means we're done with that part, and we now have a destination which we need to reach this area. The task will be placed right here, so we know where to go. Next, we need to create a trigger area. This is the area to reach. Place a trigger and name it, and then enter it here. Okay, so let's place a trigger there, and we need to give it a name. So the variable name will be training ground. When that's done, enter it here. Okay, training ground. Set the size of the trigger to the zone you want it to scan. Okay, so that's how big the zone needs to be for it to find a player, or the size, or where it will be looking for players basically. Let's make it a bit bigger, maybe 35, 15. That's good, that's brilliant. So if we place it right about there, so as soon as a player gets in here, it's gonna start, or well, it's gonna scan this area for players all the time, so to say. We've done C, so let's go to D, set activation to anybody. Activation, anybody. Okay, good shit. So next we have condition type. Sorry, shouldn't be scrolling down so much since we have the parameters up there. Condition type. Select the type of a condition the script will fire upon. A number will be how many players need to reach the area for the zone to trigger. So if I type 5, there needs to be 5 players in this trigger for it to fire, for it to succeed. However, it has been updated, which is mentioned on the C. The script will automatically adjust to total amount of players if value is higher. So if the value is 5, you need 5 players to be there for it to fire. But there are only 3 people on the server right now. That means Um, it's gonna make sure it's like, oh, you have a maximum of 3 players, therefore you can't get 5 people there, therefore it's just gonna wait for all 3 of them to get there, and then it's gonna work, even if the value is higher than the total amount of players available. So we're gonna do 1, or well, we can do 2, why not? It's gonna work anyway, even if I'm alone. An array, oh yeah. So D and E, we will look into this later. It's a different way of doing it. I'm gonna look into it later. We're just gonna do general player search or scan. And then code. The code to be executed upon task completion. The code is called, and it's only done on the server. Only on the server. And then I can probably remove this. There we go. Looks a little neater. Okay, cool. We're not gonna use any code this time, I believe. The past variables are the trigger and the task, if task has succeeded, true or false. We're not gonna use any code, so we're just gonna do nil and then close brackets to finish off the parameters. And then we're gonna copy spawn. There we go. And then we're gonna put this in the init. That's where I wanna run it. Sorry, I should probably show it in the folder. That's the wrong folder. Alright, so we're in the naked tasks folder, and then we have the init.sqf. And in here you have these tasks that will fire at the start of the mission. And I'm on the wrong mission to do so. I'm actually in another mission, so let's go into the correct mission folder. Bum 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 bum. Where do I have it? Tasks example, scripts, naked tasks, init. There we go. Now we're in the correct mission folder. Save the init SQF file. Save the mission, and let's load through. So now we can see that we have another task here, reach training ground. So let's see here, I'm just a bit curious. So we have a task here, we need to reach the training ground. That's not too hard, is it? Okie dokie. Do I have a GPS? I do not have a GPS, but I should be able to find my way out. Just need to head south and turn left. So let's get into the quad bike. Let's take a drive. Alright, there are bad guys in there. It's for a future video. Hey, we reached the training ground. Well done, well done. This task is very good for chaining new tasks, for example. If you reach this area and then you can have something like set up, well, in this case I guess perform 1 round of training where you need to run through all the courses or something. But in a serious scenario you might want to have something like set up ambush for convoy, or look for survivors, or look for this or that and whatnot. You might think of. But let's set up one more thing. We're gonna need to step out. So I'm thinking something like, I want to bring this medic truck, this medical truck. I want a task where I need to bring it here. I need to bring it in here, or actually inside here, inside right there. Okay, so how do we do this? Let's go back into the run.sqf. Let's remove this thing altogether and start from scratch. So open bracket, type number 3, open bracket, parameters, and task name, unique task name, deliver med truck. Yeah, so I don't mess up the duplicate things. The task description, bring medical supplies to storage area. Deliver medical truck. Something like that. Close bracket. the destination. So let's do a different thing since we know how to do this already. We know we're gonna need a trigger. We know that we need to place a trigger and we need to give it a name. So we're gonna do a little thing here. Let's place the trigger right there. Let's give it a name. So we're sort of jumping in between parameters, but deliver medical. So we know it's deliver medical. Now we can do this. We can do that and the get pass deliver medical. So what it's gonna do, it's gonna grab the position of this trigger and it's gonna enter it in there. That way you don't need to create a marker or manually have to enter the XYZ coordinates. Next, the trigger area. This is the area to reach. Place a trigger and name it. We've already done that. So deliver medical. Set the size of the trigger to the zone you want it to scan. So let's do a rectangle and let's do like 10, 10 and height 5 maybe. It's pretty good. It's a bit too big, I think. Let's try 7. That's really good. That's really good. That's really good. Let's see here. Oh, it's almost perfect. This will surely be enough. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. So we need to bring it right in there. That's the size. Set the activation to anybody. Let's open it up. Activation, anybody. Okay. And next, the condition type. So first one we did, we had a number, which was the number of players. This time we're going to jump down to D. An array will check if the objects. So you can have several objects. You can have one, you can have several. So you can have 1 medical truck, you can have 5 medical trucks. Then check if they have reached the zone. If an array is used, the task will fail if an object dies. So if the medical truck would be destroyed, the task will fail. So let's open up an array. And what did we call the truck? We called it. We haven't named it yet. So let's call it med truck. And let's enter med truck. There we go. A close bracket. Code to be executed on task completion. The code is called and only on the server. We've been through this, so I'm not gonna use it. Or well, I guess I could. Let's do a little silly thing. If this selects 0, so since this will fail, or sorry, it will succeed if we bring the truck there, but it's gonna fail if we don't, which means this is gonna be true or false. So if true, if we manage to bring the medical truck, then system chat truck delivered, or sorry, supplies delivered. And then we can do an else. So if the truck is destroyed, we do system chat supplies destroyed. And bracket, sorry, and squigglies. And then we're gonna finish this off with the 2 brackets because there are no more parameters. And then we copy the spawn Neki tasks run. And let's cut this bit, and I'm gonna bring this into. Sorry, let's actually we can chain this just for the sake of it. Sorry if I'm confusing you with my alt tabbing. Let's go into the init SQF file, and then on the training ground one, we did make it so we did not use a code. Let's update this, and place that in there. So that after we have reached the training ground, it's gonna create a new task. Hold on, okay, let's do it how I usually do it, because otherwise I'm gonna make myself confused. There we go. Now I'm not confused anymore. So first we need to reach the training ground, and after we have done so, we need to deliver the medical truck. So now this is not gonna appear until we have reached the training ground to begin with. So let's save the init SQF. Let's go in here, let's save the mission, let's play the scenario. Alright, so if we look at the tasks, there is no deliver medical truck or medical supplies task yet, because we need to finish this one first. So let's load through and go to the training ground. Okay, so we're in. Still, there is no task for the medical truck. So in there are a few bad guys who might be upset with me bypassing. Okay, so let's get over here. And in a moment, reach training ground completed. Deliver medical truck. So now you can see we have a new task. We need to bring medical supplies to storage area. So now we need to bring it over there. So let's go back. Let's get the medical truck. Let's mount up as driver. Oh Jesus, camera is wild. And if we exit here and we take a right and then we do a left. Come on. So we need to park it in here. Or was it on the right or on the left? It was on the right, wasn't it? Did I misread this? Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, I messed up. I'm sorry. I should have done this select one. Because the parameters that are passed is the trigger and then whether it was succeeded or not. So this select 1 is the trigger. This select 0 is the trigger. This select 1 is the task, whether it succeeded or not. So we got a little script error there for my condition, my completion code being a bit screwed up. But the task is completed. I'm gonna show you what happens if we go to the training ground and then we get the new task and then we destroy the medical truck. And this time it's not gonna give us a script error, I hope. Woohoo! We reached the training ground. Let's get back and deliver the medical truck. So let's just do a little thing here. Cursor target, set damage 1. Oh no! And you can see in the bottom left that supplies were destroyed. And this means that if I hadn't done that little mistake with 0 and 1, we would have had the supplies have been delivered text come up on the other side. So that's the reach area command, which I suppose could also be a deliver vehicle command, task, but very handy, very nice to have. The ability to chain is really great. So I hope this video helps you out. I hope you enjoy the script. I hope you're able to use it, and thanks for watching.